Reflections from Torch Trust, focusing on Christian faith and sight loss.
Hello, and a warm welcome to Reflections from Torch Trust, the show that focuses on faith and disability in today's world. I'm your host, Marilyn Baker. Now, I don't know about you, but I love a good film. Do you have a favourite movie you like to return to again and again? Yes, I love the musicals, really, like Sound of Music. I never get sick of that story. And I like Paddington, which really does need a lot of audio description. Well, today we're going to be talking a lot about films and how blind and partially sighted people can have better access to them. Many blind and partially sighted people rely on audio description to get the most enjoyment out of films. I certainly do. I have an app on my phone actually called Sero. It used to be iBlink Radio, and under their entertainment tab they have a lot of described video content, but you do have to subscribe to this service. I love it. And it's just the audio content of the film, so if you want to watch it you have to line it up with the television version of it as well. But audio description isn't always available, and even if it is, it can be very hard to find. Well, a group of people based in Scotland have launched a project to try and change that. Our producer Grace spoke with Elena Zini from My Sound Cinema to find out what they're doing to make film more accessible.
Thank you so much for joining me today. First of all, Elena, can you tell me what is My Sound Cinema, just for anyone who hasn't heard of it?
Right. Hi, and thanks for having me here. So My Sound Cinema is basically it's an online platform where people can access films that have audio description in an accessible way. I founded a company that makes audio descriptions, and we've been doing that for years and years. And then we realized that many of the films we were working on were beautiful films, and we were very lucky to work on them, and then realized that the audio descriptions were not available in cinemas, in festivals, or online. They weren't anywhere to be found. And we thought, okay, this is quite frustrating for ourselves and for the filmmakers and the funders that spend their money on them. So what can we do about it? So we thought, okay, let's just try and create a place online where people can find these audio descriptions and these audio described films in an easy way. And we were lucky enough to get some funding, first of all, to do some research and get in touch with organizations such as RNIB and Sight Scotland to find out whether there was an actual need and interest for this. Then we involved a steering group of vision impaired people, people with various degrees of vision impairments, and an amazing main consultant who's blind. And we started creating this platform online. And the other aspect of the thing was gathering all the films. So we're gathering films from various genres, so talking directly with the people who are making the films and producing the films and putting them in various channels. So yes, it's kind of a responsive way, because the platform is so targeted. It's made for people that they use your audio description. So we can ask people what they want, what they would like to have, and then sort of customize the content accordingly. So yeah, we just tried to fill that gap in an existing gap, which was, and hopefully we're also trying to make audio description more visible for everyone, both, there are people with vision impairments who have never had a chance to use it, but there's also like many filmmakers who don't really know how it works, or anyone really. So it's just another place for people to find out more about what it is and try and experiment with it. Yes, so this is the idea.
Yeah, oh, that's fantastic. And I think it's so great, like you said, that people with visual impairments were involved all the way through. So can you tell me a little bit about some of the accessibility features and how they work?
Yeah, sure. So all the website has been tested thoroughly by people using various devices, both our steering group and other testers who use a screen reader. So it's easy to navigate. We have made sure, the text has high color contrast. It's all large size text. And then there's a page which lists all the accessibility features, the things we could do and the things we couldn't do, because we had to work with third-party sort of system in order to manage it within our budget. So there are certain things that we couldn't do, but the good thing is, we keep working on improving and making things easier. For example, now we've implemented categories so that people can find the film they're looking for. And when you press play, the film starts automatically with audio description, and you can also turn on captions but only if you want. And the captions are also large size captions. Then at the end of the film, you get another message saying that there's like an audio description rating feature. So you can, people can say whether they enjoy the audio description or not. So these are little things we've implemented so far. And we are looking at launching an app version for both Android and Apple systems, and that should also make it easier for people, and having some free content as well. We're collaborating with organizations who have done extensive work with audio introductions, and those are not often available online. So we'd really like to feature some of this kind of content there, and hopefully make some of these also, as much as we can, for free with the funding that we have for now, just so that people get a chance to experience something that maybe they haven't tried before.
We'll be hearing more about My Sound Cinema later in the show. Now, today marks the start of Advent, the season in which we prepare for the coming of Jesus. But what exactly does Advent mean for us? Is it just a time of waiting, or is it something more? This week's Thought for the Week explores it all and is written and read by Michael Stafford, a former Torch employee and volunteer for many years.
What springs to our minds when we think of the season of Advent? Probably the nearness of Christmas and all that we have to do to prepare for it. There are cards to send, presents to buy, a Christmas cake to make, the house to make ready for all those relatives who may descend on us, the turkey to buy. Amongst all this activity, the real meaning of Advent gets forgotten, or perhaps was never known in the first place. After all, isn't Advent just a precursor of Christmas? Well, no. It is an occasion in its own right. The name Advent means coming, and the Church has always thought of Christ's coming as more than just his birth in Bethlehem. In fact, there are three senses in which we can understand the coming of Christ. It is a past, present, and future reality. First is, of course, his coming into the world, being born as a baby in Bethlehem in fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy. Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6 says, "For to us a child is born, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Secondly, he comes today into every person who believes in him and invites him in, thereby receiving the gift of forgiveness, joy, peace, and the assurance of eternal life that he promises. Thirdly, he will come again at a time yet to be revealed to usher in his kingdom of peace, light, and eternal life. At the end of the Bible, Christ says, "Yes, I am coming soon." That may not be our idea of soon, since it was written nearly 2,000 years ago. But Jesus also tells us to be ready for his coming, which may be at any time. My great-grandfather's gravestone in the churchyard at Sheepy Magna in Leicestershire has inscribed upon it a verse from Matthew's Gospel. "Be ye also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh." That is a word we can all take to heart and ask ourselves, am I ready to meet him? What a wonderful thing that in Jesus, born to redeem us from our state of separation from God through sin, we have all we need in order to be ready. So let's make sure we've availed ourselves of his amazing gift of forgiveness.
Now let's go back to Eleanor and Grace as we discover more about audio description.
It sounds like it's developing all the time. This is fantastic.
Yes, it keeps developing because obviously people didn't even know it existed until now. So, for example, now, and because people email us and there are things we hadn't thought of, or we had, but there were so many things. So, for example, someone wrote to say, oh, I only ever listen to audio description with Dolby surround sound because I really enjoy that. And obviously that makes complete sense. So we are now trying to find a way to implement surround sound as well. And that would be nice as well, because obviously if you have to rely mostly on the audio as a context, then you want that audio to be really as good as it can be. So yeah, we'll hopefully keep on making it better and better.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. And so you mentioned working with the filmmakers themselves. How does that kind of happen? What are you sort of making them aware of the possibilities of audio description?
Yes. So as an audio description provider, we've always sort of, when we wrote a script, then we always get back to them, and more often than not, they give us like their opinion or their changes. So that's always been a really nice process to go through. And there are certain filmmakers that are really interested in the process. So we are hoping to start doing also events where filmmakers, directors can present their film. So we can host events on the platform as well. So yeah, hopefully that's something we can also do. And in the meantime, in order to gather these films, we do get in touch with all the various distributors just to ask, what do you have that is audio described, and are you happy to share it with us? So obviously we need to negotiate with them, and which is the other reason why we need to have a ticket per film, because that's how the film system works. People don't normally give away. Sometimes they do, but normally they do want to be paid for their filmmaking work. So we do have to apply a ticket, and then the revenue from the ticket is split equal between us and the film production.
Ah, right. Okay. Actually, can you explain a little bit about how the system works for someone who wants to use it and watch a film?
So if you go to www.mysoundcinema.com, there is like an explanatory page with mostly like a newsletter sign-up form if you want to be kept in the loop with anything new coming up. And then there's two main buttons that should be one of the first things you come across if you navigate. One is called Films, and the other one is called Go to Cinema, I think. Anyway, either of them will bring you straight to this sort of cinema page, which is super simple, and it's just basically a list of films, and it's divided into categories, like very clear, it goes from horror, drama, comedy, documentaries. There's quite a few documentaries because we are trying to push films that are like a little bit indie, a little bit, not necessarily the super mainstream that you can find anyway on Netflix. So then you select your film, press play, and then you have to create a username and password just the first time. But then from then on, it will remember you, and then it will tell you what the cost of the ticket is. You'll need to enter the credit card details again just the first time, and then you should remember it. Then you have 24 hours to start the film, and then 48 hours to actually finish it. So like if you're Friday, you're like, oh, okay, I'll watch this, but then something happens, you have the whole weekend to watch it, basically. So far, people seem to have been able to go through the whole process quite well. And yeah, we keep collecting all the feedback. There's our email as well, both in the website, and it's hello@mysoundcinema.com anyway, if someone wants to get in touch with any feedback or requests, and we will get back to you, no matter what. But yeah, if there's anything new coming up, we'll spread the word via the newsletter and social media. So we're also on Twitter @mysoundcine, and the same should be on Facebook as well. So you can follow us there, and we'll let you know about any news. But yeah, the newsletter is probably the best way.
Well, thank you, Elena, and we wish the My Sound Cinema project every success. If you like the sound of the My Sound Cinema project, but aren't sure what audio description is like, Elena has kindly shared a sample with us. This is from the film Boiling Point, a fast-paced, critically acclaimed thriller about a head chef in crisis, starring Stephen Graham and directed by Philip Barantini.
Andy brings over the small saucepan of sauce he's been making. He and Carly plate up the duck, each arranging slices on a white plate. Carly wipes her hands on her apron and starts adding the garnish, while Andy spoons the sauce over the duck on both plates. Freeman moves around behind them as he works. He goes to wash his hands.
Okay, you missed a piece there, yeah?
Yeah. There's two. Let's neaten that.
Yeah. Wipe that plate off.
Yep. All right.
Yeah?
All right,
Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, you happy?
Andy washes his hands.
Okay.
No, I'll do it. I'll take it.
All right.
I'll take them. Yeah, away on the table spot, yeah?
Yeah.
Good?
Right.
Good?
Yep. Yep.
Andy carries the plates away.
Great. Meal, chips.
Camille, check them chips, love.
Andy walks through the restaurant with the two plates and puts them on Alistair's table.
Great, thanks. Ah, look at that. Amazing.
Alistair examines the duck with his fork.
Where's she gone?
She's just making a call.
Andy sits down in the spare chair and watches closely as Alistair tries the duck.
And if you'd like to watch Boiling Point, I think I would, or any of the other films available on the My Sound Cinema platform, just go to mysoundcinema.com. Well, I'm sorry to say we're all out of time for this week. I hope you've enjoyed our exploration of audio description. We'll be back next week with more great stories, interviews and reflections. So do tune in if you'd like to find out more about anything Torch has to offer, including our fantastic collection of Christian audiobooks to buy and borrow. Then do get in touch. Our number is 01858 438 260, or you can email info@torchtrust.org. Till next time, from me, Marilyn and everyone on the Reflections team, goodbye and God bless.
You've been listening to Reflections from Torch Trust.